1950s, which was right after the seminal environmental book, A Silent Spring, that Rachel Carson wrote.
Oh, yes.
So right soon after that, an Iranian-American Muslim scholar wrote Man and Nature, and he really spoke to that dichotomy, that tension that was occurring, that was starting to really become apparent. And I think that one of the challenges that we have as Muslims in America is actually seeing past some of these illusions that these things are making our lives more convenient, and actually say maybe they're not, and take a step back. And one of the biggest examples of that is the availability of halal food everywhere, right? Most of the halal food we eat might be halal, it might be killed the correct way, but it's not necessarily living the best life. It's still part of the factory farm system.
So you can get involved, and instead everybody focuses, is this halal? He doesn't ask how it was raised.
Exactly.
It's still a consumer.
Exactly.
I mean, being a halal, maybe they raise the price by putting the label on it. It's the same thing, no cluster or no whatever. It's a consumer decision. But you wrote in your book some of the things that Muslim can do. And we're talking about Muslim living in a non-Muslim country, like American Muslims.
Of course. Well, I'll just say, just initially, one of the things that Sheikh Hamza Yusuf from Zaytuna Institute said once is that when you see someone that looks as though they're non-Muslim or something, he was talking to an immigrant brother who asked, what can I do when I'm in a non-Muslim country? How do I live with these people? And one of the things he said was like, when you see someone and see them as having a better relationship or being closer to Allah than you are, so that automatically you're humbled when you come to meet someone. So one of the first steps that we need to take, that's one of the initial steps, is humble yourself, right? And reorient yourself. But I think there's also some very practical things. And coming up this Ramadan, we need to really think seriously, how are our mosques oriented during Ramadan, right? Are we just using, like they line up this iftar time and you're lining up styrofoam cups and everyone's pouring water and one brother takes a sip and he puts the water down, then he comes back and he takes another cup and the other cup still has water in it. No. Yeah. The vision of the Green Masjid, we need to come to some fruition on that.
And the essence of Ramadan is teach us how to limit our needs.
And be mindful of our consumption, right?
Exactly.
And mindful of it so that we can help other people. And so I would challenge some of the people in the community to think about how they could maybe eliminate plastic and styrofoam. The way we think about alcohol and pork, maybe we could start thinking about styrofoam in the same way.
This is something, because it's probably the same damaging. But I was reading America. Last year, they consumed, I don't know how many billions of water bottles.
Yes.
They are thrown. Where do they go? Billions of plastic bottles are somewhere.
One of my younger sister, she's in the book, and she's in Green Dean. She's an environmental engineer, and she walked on this one area where she was an area that had groundwater issues, and she was observing it. And she said she stepped and she thought it was beautiful, and then she kicked a little bit, and she just a little bit below the surface was just trash. And a lot of the areas that are outside of our cities are old landfills, and we're literally piling up trash around us, and we don't even know it. And particularly with these plastic bottles and plastic bags, we need to ban plastic bottles. We need to ban plastic bags. We need to find other ways to do that. And one of the challenges I would say for the message is to bring your own cup or your own bottle to the masjid and have a place for people to fill up their water. And we start to instill that. The same way at cafeterias where you bring a tray and then you scrape the tray and you put it in the thing and it goes to the washer. Instead of having styrofoam plates, have that system set up in the masjid so that people can go and be a part of something that's positive during Ramadan.
Even if it was symbolic,
correct.
On a smaller scale. The idea. I mean, when I was in school, my 101 chemist class, I remember the teacher was telling me the attributes of water: no taste, no color, no smell. But we have 300 brands of water, of no taste, no color. This is amazing.
Water, okay, so within the Muslim world, who uses water more than Muslims? And not in terms of drinking, but who is actively using water on a daily basis?
Well, they wash every day, and I only wash once a month.
Right. I argue that Muslims should be forget about terrorism. Next time someone asks you about terrorism, start talking about clean water.
Yeah.
Next time someone talks about this happening and over here, talk about clean water.
Well,
Muslims should be the leaders in talking about clean water.
The oil spill, it's the most terrorizing thing for America now.
I agree. I agree.
And so as the oil control prices. This is the biggest terrorists are out there, are some of the corporations.
Oil, coal, gas to a certain degree, the fuels that we can burn, I call energy from hell. And the fuels that from the
They're
wind
going to be
and
in
solar,
hell too.
and the fuels, wind and solar, the alternatives, the smarter alternatives, I call energy from heaven. We need to be about energy from heaven instead of energy from hell.
Thank you so much,
Pleasure.
Ibrahim. Mateen, Green Dean, check it out.
October 11th.
October 11 is going to be out there, and he's speaking here in the Twin City, and will be on a talk tour all over the nation.
They can go to greendeanbook.com.
And that's Green Dean Book. Thank you so much, and we'll have a selection, and we'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum, and God bless you all.
سواق وماشي في البلاد سواق الخطوة بيني وبين حبيبي براق مشوار بعيد وانا فيها غريب واللي قرب والنهارده رواق سواق وماشي في البلاد سواق الخطوة بيني وبين حبيبي براق مشوار بعيد وانا فيها غريب واللي قرب والنهارده رواق ولقاكم حبيبي سلم
ارسمها